Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 4 of Beyond the Green Golf Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Mahoney. Just want to start off by saying once again, thank you very much for everyone who watched last week's video. I really appreciate all the feedback I'm getting and just kind of talking amongst the golf community. It's really awesome. I really enjoy it. So thank you very much for everyone who watched last week's video and is obviously tuning in again this week. Really appreciate it. If you guys can hit the subscribe button below my video, as well as like this video and comment who do you think is going to win the Players Championship this week, that will all be greatly appreciated. I also have, if you guys can follow me on Twitter, my Twitter account is @BeyondTheGreenGolf. If you guys have any additional questions, comments from what you see on this video, or anything you want to ask after the video is over, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I want to obviously start off with just keep the same kind of routine going as the last few weeks, but I want to do just a short review of last week. I just want to keep it short because I know we got a big week on hand this week. So gotta say congrats to Scotty Scheffler on getting the win last week at Arnold Palmer Invitational. That is now Scotty's second win in his last 3 starts, winning. So he won the API this last week and the WM Phoenix Open 3 weeks ago, I believe. So this recent win, little nugget here, moved Scotty to number 5 in the world rankings. And so what else happened with this, and which is the pretty cool little nugget that's going around this week, is now currently the top 5 ranked players in the world are all under 30 years old. So it just shows how good the state of the game of golf, pro golf, is right now. But here's the list of the top 5 golfers and their age. Number 1 world golfer, Jon Rahm, 27 years old. Number 2, Morikawa, 25 years old. Number 3, Viktor Hovland, 24. Number 4 is Patrick Cantlay, he's 29 years old. Number 5 is Scotty Scheffler, he's 25 years old. And another little thing I found out about Scotty this week is he never even had, on his whole time on the PGA Tour up to this point, he never had an equipment deal. I did see and read that he has been using TaylorMade irons, and for the most part TaylorMade, but he's never actually had an equipment deal. So it was just this week that he actually signed a multi-year deal with TaylorMade. So big week for Scotty. So big congratulations to Scotty Scheffler. Out of the 7 golfers we talked about last week, the one pretty much the best player for us was Viktor Hovland. So Viktor was leading pretty much all tournament. Viktor, it really came out over the weekend. He's really struggled with his short game once the conditions got very tough. Viktor was only 3 out of 13 for sand saves. So pretty much once he got in the bunker, he wasn't able to get it up and down for par. He only did that 3 out of 13 times. So let's see. He once again, one of the golfers, Viktor, he had a 2-shot lead with 7 holes to go, just like we had last week with Shane Lowry. But unfortunately, Viktor just could not cross the finish line. So it ended up being a 2nd place finish for Viktor Hovland. This would have actually been Viktor's first win on American soil. He's still looking for his first win here in the United States. But yeah, just very tough for Viktor not to get it done this week, or last week. But Viktor, obviously, he's such a great player. He's going to have multiple wins coming his way in the future. So that was a great tournament. But moving on, I want to first, before we dive into this week, I want to just give a huge congratulations to Tiger Woods. He got inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame tonight. So big congrats to Tiger. He's definitely done a lot for the game of golf, and so it's a well-deserved achievement. So congrats to Tiger Woods, and we got the Tiger Woods pretty cool photo. It's like one of my most favorite kind of golf memorabilia items I have here. So big congrats to Tiger Woods. All right, just an announcement I have to wait that I would like to make is Rick Gaiman. Pretty much most of the stroke gain stats and custom models that I'm going to be talking about during this video and all the future weeks to come, they all come, pretty much most of the stats I'm getting in databases and custom models, they're all coming from Rick's website, rickrungood.com. So if you guys like betting on golf, this site will have plenty of information to help you out. So please go to rickrungood.com and subscribe to Rick's website. Thank you. Let's see. So yeah, this week is the Players Championship. So it's a huge week for the PGA Tour. The Players Championship is known as the unofficial 5th major of the year. This is the biggest tournament that the PGA Tour puts on all year. The reason being is the 4 major championships that we have each year, they're run by different organizations other than the PGA Tour. So most people don't know this, but it's a little neat fact that I like to tell people. So the Masters is actually run by the Augusta National Golf Club. The PGA Championship is run by the Professional Golfers Association of America. The US Open is run by the USGA, United States Golf Association. And then the Open Championship, formerly known as the British Championship, is run by the R&A. And the R&A stands for the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrews. So obviously, since it's the biggest PGA Tour's biggest event of the season, they want to make the purse and pretty much what the winner gets to be a huge achievement. So this is pretty much with the win this week. This is what the winner is going to receive. So the champion receives 600 FedEx Cup points, and this is the big one right here. Well, obviously 600 FedEx Cup points is huge for the season, for the players' season on the PGA Tour. Get them to Atlanta, get them to the playoffs. But the big one here is the first place prize this week is $3.6 million, which is up from $2.7 million last year. So wow, that's crazy. That's a lot of money. $3.6 million for first place. What also the winner gets is you get exemptions into the next 3 editions of all 4 majors. And the maximum, you get 5-year PGA Tour exemption. So you pretty much get a guaranteed PGA Tour card for 5 years. So that just shows this is just a huge week we have on hand here. It's going to be a very strong field. I have here that the only players that qualified not to commit to the Players Championship are Harris English, who's dealing with an injury, Phil Mickelson, Steve Stricker, and Tiger Woods. So pretty much 46 out of the top 50 players in the world in the official world golf rankings are teeing it up this week. The 2 players that I know withdrew are Bryson DeChambeau. He withdrew once again for wrist and back injuries. And then Kevin Na. Kevin Na withdrew to having his 3rd baby this week. So congrats to Kevin on his 3rd child. And let's see here. Okay, so I want to start by going into a little course conditions. So after we've had very nice weather for the last 2 editions of the Florida Swing, except for the last hole that rained on Sepp Straka and Shane Lowry a week or 2 ago, this week we're going to have pretty bad weather throughout the whole tournament. The course had to be closed today for a short period due to the weather being pretty bad, and players had to be taken off the course. So that's limiting their practice time they get to have this week. I think later on in the day they were let back on, but they had to be removed today. Let's see. There's also supposed to be thunderstorms on Thursday and Friday. There's supposed to be 20 to 25 mile per hour winds on Saturday. And then for Sunday, the temperature is going to drop from about the 70s to the low 50s, and it's going to have about 15 mile per hour winds. So this is definitely going to be a tough test this week weather-wise. Let's see, in addition to the weather, the greens are expected to be around 13 on the stimp meter, which means it's going to be fast greens again this week. The tour, I've heard that they might actually slow down the greens due to the very strong winds, but that will kind of be determined once the tournament gets going and what the weather is like. But the rough is going to be it's going to be a tough test because the rough is going to be thick again this week. And I've heard players during their interviews saying it's just really causing them trouble, like compared to last week's rough where you pretty much just gouge it out. This one, the players are saying they have no clue how the ball is going to come out. So it's very kind of unpredictable, and that's definitely what the players do not like to have. But previously mentioned the winds. So the winds, it's going to be very tough because there's actually going to be 4 different wind directions throughout this tournament. So you'll have to definitely be able to be comfortable with striking the ball in the wind and having control of your golf ball. So due to all this bad weather, it's more than likely we're actually going to see a Monday finish to this year's Player Championship. So they're going to try their best to finish it on Sunday, but it looks like due to the weather, they're going to have multiple delays where it might be finishing on Monday morning. We'll just have to see. Okay, the tournament this week is being held at TPC Sawgrass Stadium course. It's really similar to the Honda Classic at PGA National because this course also has a lot of water. So this week, there's actually water on 17 out of the 18 holes they're playing. That's a lot of danger that lurks out there with water being on 17 out of the 18 holes. The most famous hole at this course is the 17th, the par 3 17th, the Island Green. So it's definitely a very tough test, especially with a lot of these winds, the strong winds that we're going to have over the weekend. So you're definitely going to be seeing some big numbers on this hole. The other thing to note about this course is it's a Pete Dye design course. So Pete loves to make players have all kinds of shot shapes. On this course, there's no 2 holes that have back to back in the same direction. The other little very interesting thing is most of the holes, if you're hitting it left to right off the tee box, your approach shot is going to be right to left into the green. That's what Pete Dye just loves doing, is kind of making you hit multiple different shot shapes throughout the holes and the tournament. So that is going to be, you have to be able to shape your ball and be able to hit it both ways. If you struggle with hitting either the fade or the draw, it's going to be a tough test for you this week. There's a lot of trees perfectly placed on this course that really messes with the player's eyesight. So you also will need to take advantage of the par 5s on the course this week. There's 4 par 5s and all of them are pretty much reachable in 2. So the other thing is the greens. The course, it has smaller greens on average than the last 2 Florida courses. So with the bad weather, I just have a feeling there's going to be a lot of greens that will be missed. And so you're going to need your short game and around the green game to be really on point this week, because I feel like it's going to be pretty crucial. Okay, so that's enough about the course. Let's go into the tournament. One more tidbit. Let's see. So this is the most, this tidbit is going to be the one you hear mentioned the most this week. So this is the 40th edition of the Players Championship. And in the Players Championship history, there has never been a back-to-back winner here. So pretty much Justin Thomas won last week. So most people are crossing Justin Thomas off their list right away this year and not picking him to win. Let's see. The other note about this course is the tournament used to be held in May, but the last 2 editions have been held in March. The two previous winners are Justin Thomas and Rory McIlroy. And so obviously by those two winners, it shows you need to have an elite game to win here. Let's see. Another really interesting thing I noted or I saw is that from JT and Rory's win here, these are the stats that I noticed they were both in the top 10 of. So here we go. So ball striking during JT's year he won. This is the breakdown. So it was of the 2 years they won. So ball striking, JT was tied for 7th. Rory was 3rd. Strokes gained approach, Justin Thomas was 5th. Rory was 6th. Strokes gained tee to green, Justin Thomas was 1st and Rory was 1st. And let's see, bogey avoidance, Justin Thomas was tied for 8th. Rory was tied for 1st. And the last one I noticed that they're both in the top 10 of is par 5 scoring. JT was 1st that week and Rory was tied for 7th. So pretty much I saw just from obviously the two winner stats here, those are great inputs to use for my custom model that I created. So I ran a custom model and I heavily emphasized strokes gained approach, strokes gained tee to green, and par 5 scoring. So over the last 24 rounds, here are the top 10 players that rank according to those variables over the last 24 rounds. Here are your top 10 players. Number 1, Jon Rahm. Number 2, Scottie Scheffler. Number 3, Daniel Berger. Number 4, Hideki Matsuyama. Number 5, Will Zalatoris. Number 6, Luke List. Number 7, Justin Thomas. Number 8, Cameron Smith. Number 9, Joaquin Niemann. Number 10, Keegan Bradley. So that was over the last 24 rounds. So that is pretty much, you can look at it as like the last 6 tournaments. But I wanted to get a bigger sample size just to see who stayed on the list or who fell off. So I ran the same model over the last 50 rounds, and these what the results were. Number 1, Jon Rahm. Number 2, Daniel Berger. Number 3, Justin Thomas. Number 4, Cameron Smith. Number 5, Taylor Gooch. Number 6, Will Zalatoris. Number 7, Scottie Scheffler. Number 8, Patrick Cantlay. Number 9, Luke List. And number 10, Matsuyama. So pretty much the main players that I like this week, that I want to back this week, that are on both lists, they are Rahm, Scheffler, Berger, Matsuyama, Zalatoris, JT, and Cameron Smith. So I'm going to only choose 5 out of these 7 golfers to be my favorites this week. I'm shortening my card from 7 to 5 this week due to I'm picking Jon Rahm. So we're switching up the process a little bit. The last 3 weeks, we've kind of skipped the favorite on the board. But this week, just due to Jon Rahm's elite ball striking, and he's got better finishes over the last 4 years here at the Players. I think with his last finish being 9th place. So Jon Rahm, I'm going to go with as our favorite, the favorite this week that I like to win the Players Championship. You can find Jon Rahm at 12-1 odds at multiple places. So my second favorite, I'm going to buck the trend that everyone is kind of crossing Justin Thomas right off the list because there's never been a repeat winner. But Justin Thomas, obviously with Tiger getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, that's, I'm sure, going to give JT, that's going to pump him up a little bit. But what better would it be for JT's resume? It would just be such a great accomplishment to buck that trend off and be the first player to win the Players Championship in back-to-back years. So I am choosing Justin Thomas as my second favorite golfer this week. And you can find Justin Thomas, his opening odds, best number was about 16 to 1 at Circa. But you can actually currently find him tonight. I just checked the odds. He's gone up. His odds have gotten better from 16 to 1 to they're currently 19.5 to 1 odds. And let's see. So my third favorite golfer I like this week, we're going to continue to ride Daniel Berger in the Florida swing. Daniel loves himself some Florida golf. You can find Daniel Berger at 33 to 1 odds at Caesars. The fourth favorite golfer that I like this week is Cameron Smith. So Cameron Smith obviously is just all around game is just so good. I really like his short game this week with all the trouble that's going to be lurking, and I just absolutely love Smith's putter. He just saves himself on so many par putts. He just avoids bogeys, and that's what you're really going to need this week. And the last golfer, my fifth and final golfer this week that I'm backing is Will Zalatoris. And Will, obviously, has just ball striking is just elite. And you're going to need a lot of longer approaches this week. And so just like at Torrey Pines and how I've mentioned previously, Will is one of the best long iron players in the game. So Will is going to round out our card this week, and you can find Will at 50 to 1 at Circa. So the two players I'm leaving off that were on both the top 10 lists in the last 24 rounds and the last 50 rounds are Scottie Scheffler and Matsuyama. So the reason I'm leaving Scottie Scheffler off is because he admitted and mentioned in his post-round interview last week that he was just dead tired. Like the whole week just took a lot out of him. And it's got to be mentally draining just to go through all the trouble that last week had. So, and I just don't think Scottie's going to have back-to-back wins this week on the PGA Tour. And that would be wins in 3 of his last 4 tournaments. So that would be an amazing achievement, but I just don't believe Scottie gets that done this week. But you never know. I just am not going to be backing Scottie this week, but if he does get that done, that would be awesome. So let's see. The reason I'm leaving Matsuyama off is because I saw a tweet today from the Hideki Matsuyama Twitter tracker account. And you guys can find this Hideki tracker account so the Twitter account is @TrackingHideki. And so you guys should, if you're a big Hideki fan out there, you should definitely give this Twitter account a follow because you get all the up-to-date news on Matsuyama. So it's great to see. But what I did see, and thank you for this tracker's tweet, I'll read it off verbatim. So this is what the tweet says. Hideki had a quick chat with Japanese media yesterday ahead of the players this week. Sounds like his neck injury is healing, but still not 100% perfect. Hideki is happy with the way his game is, Hideki is happy with the way his game is looking, but he's more looking forward to getting... Hideki is happy with the way his game is looking, but he's looking more to getting 100% healthy ahead of the Masters. So when I hear that, it's like a neck injury, even if it's minor and just a little sore, to me, that's just a red flag, and that's just a reason why I don't exactly want to back Hideki this week. So we're going to leave Hideki off our list just due to him a little bit worried about that neck injury, and especially if he's admitting it. So that pretty much concludes it. So I'll just do a quick review of the 5 golfers. We're going with Jon Rahm, Justin Thomas, Daniel Berger, Cameron Smith, and Will Zalatoris. So after back-to-back weeks of getting really close with getting a win, I really hope this week we get it done and one of the 5 golfers we're picking this week gets across the finish line. So that'll pretty much conclude this week's episode. I just want to again say thank you for everyone who followed along today. If you guys can please subscribe to my channel, like the video, once again comment who you think is going to win this week. All that would be greatly appreciated. You can also reach out to me on my Twitter account, Beyond the Green Golf. But just want to say good luck to everyone this week. Please bet responsibly if you are choosing to bet. And hope everyone to be on the green if you're watching golf, betting golf, playing golf, whatever it is. Hope you guys be on the green. Thanks again, and see you guys next week for the Valspar Championship, which will be the conclusion of the Florida Swing. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a great day, and see you guys next week.